Hi, my name is Sade, and today I'll be making Trinidadian doubles. This is something I used to eat with my grandmother when she used to carry me to the market, and we had these food vendors that will make doubles in front of us, and then we will eat it like a little sandwich. So today we will make the bara, which is the dough of the sandwich. And in here is turmeric, sugar, yeast, flour, and a little bit of salt for flavor. So I mix it together, make sure it's all incorporated. I also put a little bit of baking powder in it, just to stabilize it a bit more. And then pour in about that much water. And it's more like a hand-feel thing. So if it's too dry, add a little bit more water. And if it's too wet, add more flour. But you want a sticky dough. And then we are going to knead this for about 5 minutes until it's soft. Okay, so after kneading this for about 5 minutes, you want this type of consistency where it's kind of sticky, but it doesn't stick to your hand too much. And then after we knead it, we're going to put a little bit of olive oil on top of it to prevent it from getting a skin. And you just rub it in. And then you set it aside to rest for about 20 minutes. So now we go into the actual main component of doubles, which is the curry chana, which is chickpeas. So in a pan, we'll put about half of this in here. And also some water. Just to cover the chickpeas, like a pinch of turmeric, a tablespoon of curry powder, and a teaspoon of cumin. And if you didn't want to make the dough, you could make it with potatoes instead. So I have some diced potatoes here, and in another pan, I'm gonna put this on and pour it in. And the same exact ingredients that I put in this pan. And you let this simmer for about 20 minutes until all the water is almost evaporated. Okay, so I'm just gonna taste the chickpeas and see if it's seasoned enough. I'm gonna add a bit more garlic. It's missing that garlicky flavor. And some more salt. So now we're moving on to one of our chutneys, which is a cucumber chutney that's normally served with doubles. And here I'm just gonna slice it. We're gonna make our cucumber chutney, and I'm gonna slice the cucumber into matchsticks. And then into this, we're gonna do a pinch of salt to draw out the moisture of the cucumber, and just massage it a little bit. And then we're gonna add some garlic. I'm gonna mince it a bit smaller. And some of our sliced cilantro. With a little bit of black pepper. Taste it for seasoning, and it tastes good. So leave this to the side until we're ready to serve. And our second chutney is a cilantro, I would say salsa verde. I wouldn't say it's really a chutney. Very finely, and then we mix it with salt, oil, and pepper. Some Scotch bonnet pepper. I just added some more water to the chickpeas because it was going down a little bit too fast. You can also use the stalks of this for extra flavor. So in here we have our Scotch bonnets, and I've minced them. So one less job, sunflower oil. Then you mix it about a little bit and add a little bit of water just to loosen it a little bit. So after mixing it all together, you want to just put it into the blender. And then we blend it. And give it a taste to see if it's seasoned well enough. And then pour it back into here. And you just pour it over your doubles. So now that this is finished, we're gonna start making our bara. So now that we have checked our chickpeas, you see it's quite dry, and that's all the flavor that's been reduced. I like to add like about a tablespoon of coconut milk to bring in a little bit more extra creaminess. And this is where you add some of the fresh cilantro to give it its color. And that's the chana finish. Taste it to see if it's seasoned well enough. And then you set this aside, and now we make the fried dough for the doubles. We put about an inch of oil in the pan. And now here we have our dough. It's nice and yellow, and there isn't really a skin on it because of the olive oil. And then pour a little bit of oil onto the surface so it doesn't stick. Take about this much of the dough, half it. Knead it into a bowl, and then stretch it out with your hand. Try not to have any holes, but you want it very transparent. You use the heel of your hand to flatten out the bara and make it as thin as possible. Okay, so when the oil is hot, you just place the bara in, and it puffs up immediately. And then you turn it over. It cooks very quickly. And then drain off. So now that we've made the bara, we start to put everything together. So we take the bara. I got quite a big one. They are normally about this size. You can see the comparison. But I'm going to make a big one. So I'll put the bara down there. And then I take about 2 spoons. Of the curry chickpea, well, 3 spoons of the curry chickpea. A tablespoon of this, just to drizzle over. Some cucumber chutney. And a little bit of spring onions. This is normally served with pepper sauce as a side to make it extra spicy, but this is a nice mild version of it, and you pick it up and you just eat it like a little taco.
Hi Sade, great to see you again. That was really good. Yeah. So you've made a traditional Trinidadian dish, didn't you?
Yes, this is normally served as an appetizer or as a breakfast food, but it's normally around in
And can I ask you about, you mentioned cilantro an awful lot, so that's still coriander, if there was people that didn't still get access to coriander, couldn't they? And you creamed it out a little bit with a bit of coconut milk, I seen at the end.
Yes, it was just to make it have more of a creamy mouthfeel and not too dry.
Yeah. Give it a nicer texture, I suppose. Is there other ways you could bulk it out a little bit? You mentioned you were doing that with this one, this sauce when we done it. I seen you doing that earlier on.
So this is also like another version of curry chickpeas. So normally it would be like curry chickpeas with potato and you eat it with rice, and that's in case you didn't want to eat the bready.
Well, I'm Irish, so I'm going to try a bit with potato. So a bit of a kick off this, I imagine. Lovely. Very nice. That's great. Thanks a million.
Yep.